Emily was about to close her husband's laptop when she saw her name. She read the line once, then again. Everything will be ready by Friday. The important thing is that Emily doesn't find out. At that exact moment, she heard Jason's car pull into the driveway. He was home early. Emily managed to close the email just seconds before the front door opened. Jason walked into the kitchen and smiled at her so calmly that somehow it made everything worse. Emily smiled back. But the next lines from the email were already running through her mind. Michael confirmed the meeting. Same address. Don't tell Emily anything until Saturday. The laptop belonged to Jason. They had been married for 9 years, and Emily had never gone through his messages before. That evening, she had only been looking for the hotel confirmation for their upcoming trip to Boston. The email was already open on the screen. Seeing her name had been an accident. Reading the rest had been her choice. During dinner, Jason talked about work, told her some story about a coworker, and discussed their trip. Emily barely heard him. She was thinking about Michael, the address, and especially Friday. The next day, Jason stepped away several times to take phone calls. On Thursday, he mentioned that he would be staying late after work the following evening. By then, Emily could no longer convince herself that the email meant nothing. On Friday, she wrote down the address and drove there. Several times she almost turned around. She knew she was crossing a line she had always believed she would never cross. But when Emily reached the small office building, she saw Jason's car. A few minutes later, he appeared near the entrance with a tall man. Michael. The two men shook hands. Then Michael handed Jason a folder. Jason opened it and smiled. Emily felt her stomach tighten. The two men went back inside. She couldn't wait any longer. Emily crossed the street and followed them into the building. Jason noticed her almost immediately. His smile disappeared. For several seconds they simply stared at each other. Then Jason asked, "Did you read the email?" Emily nodded. He slowly handed her the folder. Inside were documents for a small commercial space downtown. Emily looked at her husband, confused. That was when Jason reminded her of the dream she had given up 5 years earlier. Emily had once wanted to open her own bakery. She had chosen a name, collected recipes, and even planned a menu. Eventually, she decided they didn't have enough money, the timing wasn't right, and the dream could wait. Little by little, she stopped talking about it. Jason never forgot. For the past 8 months he had been saving money and searching for the right place. Michael was the real estate agent helping him arrange the lease. Jason had planned to bring Emily there on Saturday, but that wasn't the entire surprise. He led her into the next room. An old notebook was lying on the table. Emily recognized it instantly. It was filled with recipes and ideas for the bakery she had dreamed about years ago. On the first page was the name she had almost forgotten. Jason had found the notebook several months earlier and realized he wanted to give her back the dream she had left behind. Emily had driven there convinced she was about to uncover her husband's secret. Instead, she found a part of her own life she had stopped thinking about. For months later, a sign appeared above the door of a small bakery. It carried the same name written inside that old notebook. And Emily kept the email she was never supposed to read. Because sometimes the message you're most afraid to discover becomes the beginning of a story you never imagined possible.